Hey guys, and welcome back to my final shelf by shelf collection overview of all my horror movies. Yes, I know in the last part two, that I got cut off, which is kind of a good thing because I went on for like another 10 minutes or so, and it's just me rambling on, being really tired, and just not really giving a fuck about what I was saying. But we're just gonna pick up where I left off, and that was with Bloody Homecoming. Now, basically, what I was saying about Bloody Homecoming was this movie gets a lot of shit on the internet. And I can see why. It's not that good. The story's pretty generic. The characters are pretty shit. But for some reason, I kind of just like this film. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. And I think it gets a lot of criticism for no reason. Next up is Upside Down here as a 2015 slasher film, and that is Charlie's Farm. Really cool Aussie slasher. Charlie's a total badass killer. All the characters are pretty likable in this film. Really solid film, man. One of the best ones of the last few years, that's for sure. Yeah, I definitely hope they make a sequel. Not to spoil anything, but you know how slashers work. All right, so just on to the random stuff. Next up, we got Camp Dread, which is a pretty cool modern slasher film as well. It pretty much just pays homage to Sleepaway Camp, kind of even alludes to Sleepaway Camp in the film. I'm not going to spoil how or why, but I really dug this film. I don't hear much people talking about it. Alright, next up is Smiley. Man, a cool premise to this modern take on technology and everything with like chat roulette and Omegle. Shit like that, but this movie really fell flat. It's pretty boring. Characters are all pretty shit. Could have been a lot better, for such a cool killer too, man. Cool looking killer. Old Dirty 7, which is a film I did review here on my channel that nobody watched for some reason. Who blames you? Pretty shit review. The movie's pretty shit. Yet again, it kind of fell flat. Hazmat, have yet to check that out. I heard pretty negative things about it. Oh boy, next up is Muck, man. Oh boy, this movie is a piece of shit. I guess it's supposedly supposed to be like the second in a trilogy, but they released this first, which makes no sense to me. So that means the movie makes no goddamn sense, because the first 5 seconds of this movie is like, it's already starts off already halfway through your average slasher film. I did not enjoy it. Pretty bad. Stay far away from that. Varsity Blood, pretty cool film. I dug this. Cool killer too, man. Death Do Us Part. I believe this was some kind of wedding type slasher. I really don't remember it. I picked this up like a year ago or whatever. I thought the slipcover was pretty cool, shiny. But I don't really remember the film that much. Next up is a film called All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. Kind of felt like this film was overhyped for so long, just because it never had like a Region 1 release here. I think this like made in 2005 and it'll come out to like 2013 here, but I didn't really care for it too much. It was pretty decent at best. Let me move down a low row here for you guys. This will conclude the final shelf for my main part of my collection here. First up here, we got from Dimension Extreme, 3 Days Dead. I'm not sure what country this is from. I know it's not English. It might be like Russian or something like that. I don't know, somewhere cold. But it was pretty decent. Could have been a lot better. So, moving on here. First up, we got The Tripper. Pretty cool modern zombie comedy, written and directed by David Arquette. Also starring David Arquette. Then we got Halloween Night. Pretty cool modern slasher film. Pretty dug it. Silent Night, Bloody Night. Another cool Christmas slasher film. I really dig the killer in that film. Oh boy, Machete Joe. This movie is god awful. Stay far away from it, man. It's bad as hell. Buried Alive. Don't really remember this film. Maybe I didn't watch it. I don't know. One of those Walmart pickups. Drive through. A really cool killer. Cool premise. pretty much the movie taking place around this fast food restaurant. Awesome cover art too on that, man. Bleed, Full Moon's attempt here at a slasher film. I know they did Dream Maniac, but man, this movie sucked. I don't really care for it. Then we got P2, cool Christmas slasher type film set in a parking garage on Christmas night. I really dug it. The Mask Maker, cool independent slasher film, really good. Then we got Return to Sleepaway Camp. God, man, that movie sucks. By far, a huge letdown for a sleepaway camp movie. Then we got The Loved Ones, one of the better films from 2013, I believe. I really dug this film. Great Australian slasher type hostage torture film. Then we got All Sinners Night. I started watching this movie, got like 20 minutes into it, and I couldn't really go on for it. It wasn't really into it, man. I do want to give it another try, though, that's for sure. Then we got Camp Slaughter. Cool premise. Could have been a lot better. Expelled, I've yet to check out. Campground, which is a super independent, low-budget slasher film that I bought at a convention. Everything about this movie is terrible, but for some reason I just liked it. I don't know. It's very old school feeling to me. 80s. ATM. Decent film. The Triloquist, I've yet to check out. Buried Alive, which is like kind of like a Western slasher film. I kind of dug that film. Those Dimension Extreme movies are pretty hit and miss. Alright, this goes on to the remakes here, so let's get into this. My Bloody Valentine 3D. Good stuff. Then we got The Hills Have Eyes 1 and 2. Good. Part 1's amazing. Then we got Wrong Turn 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 are great. Part 3 is shit. I've yet to check out the last 3 films. The Black Christmas remake. I really dig this film for some reason. It might just be the coloring of the lights and everything. The way this movie's shot is just beautiful. I don't know. It's a pretty solid remake in my opinion. Then we got the Halloween remake. God-awful Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Unopened copy of Friday the 13th remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it. Then we got When a Stranger Calls remake. It's a pretty decent remake. Yeah, I don't really remember this film. It came out in that weird period of remake times, like 2009 or something like that. Not sure. It's been a while since I've seen it. Okay, I'll go back in. Then we got the Stepfather remake. Holy shit. Now, here's an interesting one. Prom Night remake. For some reason, I really kind of dig this film. I don't know. I was always the biggest fan of the original one, so this one wasn't as good either, but I don't know. I kind of grew on me for some reason. Then we got Silent Night, Deadly Night remake. That's more action-oriented. That's still good. Then we got the April Fool's Day remake. That movie is weird and stupid. It's the only way I could describe it. Alright, now this is on to like my just random stuff here. It's kind of like home invasion-ish, torture type movies, you know. Then we got Storm Warning, which is a pretty cool Australian film. Inside, really great home invasion film, pretty brutal. Extreme, Dimension Extreme. Really good Christmas film too. We'll give this a watch this year for Christmas. I'll put that on there for now. Then we got Bloodlands. Was a pretty decent home invasion film. Could have been a lot better, but yeah, it was alright. Then we got Hostel. Everybody knows Hostel. An unopened copy of Hostel 2, which I've seen a million times. I kind of like this one more than part 2. That's just my opinion. I mean, part 1. Straw Dogs remake, yet again, not really horror, but I really dig this film. I love the original Straw Dogs. I really got to grab a copy of it. Funny Games, just American remake here. Pretty much shot-for-shot remake. just all in English this time around. I really dig the German or whatever country it is from, and I dig the American one. It's the same film. Great cast in that one too. Then we got The Strangers. Kind of brought the home invasion film back to life. Great film. Just can't wait for the sequel to Otis. I don't really remember this film. I don't even know what the hell it is. We got The Last Horror Movie. I kind of dug this film for some reason. Pretty cool found footage serial killer type film. I dug it. Then we got Night of the Living Dead, the original classic. Then here we go. We got the remake. Then we just got another random copy of Night of the Living Dead, the original. Then we got Anchor Bay Dawn, Scream Day on DVD, Dawn of the Dead remake, and Land of the Dead, Diary of Dead, which is, I think is a very underrated sequel. Really dig this film. I like the aspect of the found footage in it. It's pretty unique. Romero knew what he was doing at the time. Survival of the Dead, which is a sequel to Diary. Not a big fan of that movie. We got Lucio Fulci's classic here, The Zombie. Really great shit right there, man. Some of the best looking zombies ever. We got Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, just an ultimate gore fest. Night of Comic, which is a really cheesy 80s zombie film, but I dig it. I really want to grab the Blu-ray of that. We got Return of the Living Dead Part 2, great sequel. That film really good. Blu-ray. We got Wes Craven's Surfing in the Rainbow, which is like a voodoo zombie type film. I dig it. Quarantine, which is an American remake of Wreck. They're both good films. I don't own Wreck. I dig this film though. Gets a lot of hate. I don't know. We got 28 Weeks Later, good shit. And we got 28 Days Later, really great film. Chernobyl Diaries is a really good film. I really like the premise of it, just setting that movie in that location. God only knows the history that happened there and everything with the nuclear explosions and everything. Power plant meltdown. I really like that film. Then we got Zombieland, the best Zomcom the last 10 years, man. I like that way more than Shaun of the Dead. Then we got House of the Dead, which is based on that video game. This movie is shit. And Automation Transfusion. I don't really remember this film too much. I remember it kind of being weirdly shot, but I don't know. Then down here we just got some random copies of the Saw films. I think there's 1 through 7 here. I can't remember if there's 8 films or not. Pretty sure there's 8 films. Maybe I'm just missing part 8. I have 1 through 7. They got pretty bad after part 3. So yeah, let me stand up for you guys. So that does it for the main part of my collection. I just have one more random shelf of random stuff over here. I will see you guys in a second with those. So yeah, this is just like basically my random shelf where I just put all my random DVDs and stuff. Until I can get another case and whatnot to put these on. So this does the timing. Now, excuse me, this is going to be a little hard to shoot because I got to reach over my desk here. But first up, we got The Conjuring. A really cool ghost film. I really dig this film. Great shit. Then we got Insidious 1. Really, yet again, another cool modern ghost film. Then we got the sequel, which I kind of dug. Then we got part 3, which I really wasn't the biggest fan of. It's pretty okay, I guess. Then we got Apartment 143. It's got a pretty cool found footage premise to it. Basically just about like this apartment being haunted and some girl, the guy's daughter being tortured by one of the ghosts and whatnot. Typical plot, but I kind of thought it was pretty good. Some pretty cool effects. Then we got The Orphanage, Del Toro's Spanish ghost film here. Cool premise. It's alright. Not the biggest fan of Del Toro. Then we got Cold Creek Manor. I don't even know why I have this movie. This is with DVD so old. Then we got Strangeland. I don't even know. I have been years since I've seen this film. And we just got that classic horror pack that every horror fan owns, which just has the random amount of titles in it. but it's mainly good because it's got Chopping Mall, Slaughter High, Class of '99, Chud 2 on it, Ghoulies 3, some good shit in there, man. Then we got The Purge. A lot of hype behind this movie. Huge letdown at the end. This is actually a Blu-ray, but it just doesn't fit with the rest of the Blu-rays. The Omen Collection, God, one of the worst box sets ever made. It doesn't even have the fourth film in that. That's some shit, man. The Hallows' Eve, pretty cool anthology film. It's okay. Heard the sequel is not that good though. This is disappointing. Then we got Lords of Salem, Rob Zombies. I really dig this film. Really cool. Visually shot and everything. You know what I'm saying? And great music. Then we got Starry Eyes. Oh, this hidden gem of last year, man. Well, not hidden gem, but one of the main films. Got positive reviews, and I really dug it. It's a really good film. Cool concept too, man. You know what the shit they say about Hollywood. Then we got ABC's Death over here on DVD. I do have part 2 on Blu-ray. Some of these movies you're gonna be like, why do you have the Blu-rays and then have the DVDs? Like I said before, most of these movies I bought before I had a Blu-ray player, so I don't know if I'm ever gonna upgrade them or not. Maybe not. Who knows? We got Amusement, which is kind of a cool anthology. The one good segment with the clown. I like how it all comes together. Then we got VHS 1, really good. 1 and 2 were up there for me of my favorite anthologies. And Treehouse, this was a really weird film. Had a cool premise to it. Pretty good ending, man. I really dug the ending on it. Then we got Housebound from last year. Really dug that film. I'm gonna give that a watch through again. We got Last Shift from this year. One of my favorite films of this year, man. Surprisingly so good. Really cool film, man. If you know anything about Manson, I think you like that movie. Then we got Night of the Lone Wolf, Late Phases. Really cool modern will film. I really dig the plot of it. The main character, he's a badass motherfucker, man. We got Under the Bed. I don't really remember this film. I think it was okay. I ain't gonna lie though. It's been a while since I checked it out. Then we got Altered. I really like this film. It's got a cool atmosphere and everything. Being out in the middle of the woods in your home and everything, and then the alien crashes there, and then he's in your house, and you have him prisoner. Really dig that film. Then we got Session 9. Cool film. This movie people talk about all the time being like extremely creepy. I don't know. The location is extremely creepy considering it takes place in Massachusetts and everything, which is my home state, but I don't know. I feel like this film's kind of overrated. It's got a cool idea behind it, but I don't really think it's as great as people says it is. And it's got a multi-pack here of random MGM titles. Turn Living Dead, Frogs, Swamp Thing, and Bucket of Blood. Then we got not really a horror film. House at the End of the Street. I always thought this was like a remake of a film. I guess maybe it's not. I don't know. So many goddamn movies with House at the End of the Street in the title. Disturbia, really good film. Craft, which is a really good 90s witch film. I don't know. I always remember that being one of the better films of the 90s. And Cloverfield, great giant monster found footage type film. Really like that. Funny story, this is like one of the first movies I bought when I first started collecting. Then we got Amityville horror film here on DVD. Great stuff, classic. Pulse, which is an American remake yet again of another Japanese film. And we got Final Destination 1, 2, and 3 on here. I don't own part 4 because part 4 is pretty bad, but that's okay. Unopened copy here of Exorcism of Emily Rose. Yeah, I've seen this movie when it first came out. I don't know. Not that great. Then we got The Exorcist, the beginning, prequel to The Exorcist. I remember seeing this movie like in a drive-ins or something like that. Wasn't a big fan of it. Then we got The Exorcist 3. For some reason, looks like part 2 and 1 are missing. I do own them. I don't know where they are. Yeah, Exorcist 3, the best sequel of the franchise. Then we got The Lost Boys on DVD, my favorite film. surprised, the only film that I own on 3 different forms of media: DVD, Blu-ray, and VHS. Then we got The Descent. Great creature, vampires type movie. Really dig the atmosphere and like the setting of this film. Then we got 30 Days of Night, which is yet again unopened, but I'd seen this movie when it first came out. Really beautifully shot, cool premise to a vampire film. Probably, honestly, one of the best vampire films in the last 20 years or so that I've seen. Then we got Carrie here unopened. Seen this movie a billion times. I think I'm just gonna grab the Blu-ray because it's like the same price now. And we got Evil Dead remake, which I really thought was a pretty solid remake. Messengers. I don't even remember buying this movie, where it came from. I don't even know if I've seen it. The Ring. Another Japanese remake. Good stuff. Eden Lake. Great film, man. Highly enjoy it. The ending of this movie always just makes me so angry, dude. I know that's what it's supposed to do, but it just makes me want to punch a hole in a wall. And we got The Last House on the Left remake. I showed that on Blu-ray. It's pretty decent. Single white female movie. I've yet to open this movie, but man, this movie, I saw this movie when I was younger. This movie is just a total mind fuck, and it's a pretty fucked up premise to it. It's not really a horror film, but it's a really strange film. And Proof of the Devil, which is a good found footage film. I dig it. 3-pack here, steelbook of serial killers. It's got Dahmer, Gacy, and Gein on it. Dahmer's the best of the 3. And you got Daddy's Little Girl, great revenge film. Really strong and passionate film. Pretty hard to watch if you can't handle torture. Then we got The Reef, great shark film. Oh, here's the copy of The Exorcist. It's not next to this third one. I don't know where part 2 is, but that's Exorcist classic stuff. I want to grab the Blu-ray. Then we got Bite School. I've yet to watch this film. Then we got Suspiria, that huge, I forget what they call it, that huge edition though. It's like 3 or 4 discs, maybe even more. I will share my thoughts with about this film in a later video. Stay tuned. Then we got Mothers of Tears, another Argento film. I did not really like that film. And here we got The Prophecy triple feature, 1, 2, and 3. They're pretty good films. Then up here we got The Orphan, cool killer kid movie, or maybe not to spoil anything. Then we got The Bay, great found footage film. Alien Raiders, cool alien invasion film. Great setting in a grocery store for most of the movie. Extraterrestrial, cool IFC midnight film. Then we got Digging Up the Marrow, cool creature film. I really dig the premise of it. Adam Green did a great job in that film. Really dug it. Then we got It, classic film. Really surprised it's not on Blu-ray. One of the best made-for-TV horror movies ever. Really long though. Then House, great ghost creature film. I dig it. Paranormal Activity 4. I did own part 1, 2, and 3, but I have no idea where they are. I don't know. Part 4 is definitely the worst of what I've seen. I've yet to see the newest one, the Ghost Dimension or whatever. I think I'm just gonna buy that cheap ass DVD collection of like all 5 films. It's like $10. We got Hide and Seek, more of a thrillerish type film, but Robert De Niro's really good in it. Dakota Fanning, young Dakota Fanning. I really always liked the premise of that film. Pretty suspenseful. Then up here we got The Blair Witch here on DVD. The movies that made you afraid to go to the theaters alone. Man, I remember being a kid seeing this movie, and I always thought this movie was real. They had a lot of good things going for it to them until they fucked it up with that interview they did with the cast. And we just got a bootleg here of Rawhead Rex. Good stuff. Then we got Wishmaster 1 and 2. God, how many Wishmaster films are there? 5? I only own part 1 and 2, but Part 1 is the best in the whole franchise. I remember they used to marathon on sci-fi all the time. The last stop here for my collection is not really a horror movie. 4-pack, it's more a suspense collection, like it says, but some of these movies do have some horror elements to it. We got Seven, Heat, Insomnia, and Devil's Advocate. Seven and Devil's Advocate being more of the horror films of it. Insomnia is a pretty cool serial killer type movie. Where Robin Williams is the bad guy in it. Robin Williams is one of my favorite comedians of all time. I dug the film, and Heat's more of like a heist crime cop movie. So yeah, that pretty much does it for my collection. So until I do this video again, probably this time next year, we'll see how it grows. You know, I do my updates like every 3 weeks to a month, so you guys can take this journey with me through my insane collecting habits and whatnot. Till then, guys, until the next video, I will see you guys out. Leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below if you like. Peace out, guys.